Thank you very much for staying. You're watching the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. My name is Nana Ansakwa the Fourth.
And my name is
Ohenere Gifty Auntie.
It comes with a job. The husband job. All right.
Before we give you the headlines, I want to say a special good morning to Roland Walker and Mama V. I hope you're ironing and starching up. Hope you're starching up your clothes because more bad or no. Well, what's the headlines on the dailies today?
Yeah, well, Daily Graphic front page says gridlock chokes Accra as shoppers descend on central business district. 48 hours to the celebration of Christmas, Accra, the capital city, is reeling under heavy traffic jams, making it difficult for last-minute shoppers to gain access to the central business district. And this morning, the chief was asking me, so all this traffic, where are they going to? And my question was, where are you going to?
Isn't it ironic? Because, one side of the story is that, oh, business is bad. This year you're not buying. And then, yet there's everybody out on the road, blocking the roads.
Because you need to squeeze water out of stone to make something. Christmas is about, you don't want your kids to feel, left out. So whatever it is you want to go. And people go to the market very early in the morning because they want to buy straight from the truck. The trucks from the hinterlands get to Accra early in the morning around 3:30. So they get the traders, especially those in the satellite markets. They get to the market very early in the morning to buy it off the truck before it gets to the market women who have the lipstick and the makeup on, and then they will add like 200% to it for you to go and buy. Yeah. So,
but you see, I always say that the traffic in this town or in this city, it's not because there's too many cars. It's just that we are all at every given time going to one direction. We all have to, and Accra, and I've said this to so many people think I'm joking that, even if you want to be shot, you have to come to Accra. Even if you are fed up with life and you need to be shot and you live, let's say in Sawam, you need to drive to Accra. We need to put certain things outside of Accra.
We need to decentralize. I don't know.
Roads, cement, bags of flour, even timber, wood. You need to come to Accra.
The timber that's cut,
from Accra somewhere, is shipped into Accra to come and buy it. So somebody from Sawam will drive to Accra to buy timber and then take it back to Sawam. It doesn't add up. So but as traffic is increasing, there's a lot of accidents, and I'm actually physically seeing too many accidents, and today we need to talk about road safety. I think I don't know how it happens, but for a country with 2 million cars, which is like 22 people to one car, we are massacring too much compared to others. So today we'll look at road safety.
Yeah, and I think for my banner we have this information that some 395 people died in road crashes in the first quarter of 2015. Wow. First quarter, so you can imagine, and we don't do very well with statistics in this country. Everybody knows that. These are the recorded ones. And most of the time, the recorded ones are far less than the ones that are not recorded. So only God knows what is happening out there. But we need to be careful. Anyway, soldier, policeman arrested for robbery. A soldier, a policeman, and their 2 accomplices have been arrested for their alleged involvement in robbery.
Well, we are glad they've been arrested. What can I say? They will have their day in court, and if they are innocent, they will go home. If not...
And you see, my worry is, I just hope that there will be a police official, among those you're going to interview later this morning. Does it worry them? The police and the military top hierarchy, does it worry them? Because this is not the first time we are hearing this.
No.
It's happening too often. We hear policemen involved, soldiers involved, and sometimes the ammunitions these armed robbers use, you wonder where they get it from. Some time ago, we had a story where there was a police officer in charge of the armory who was actually supplying. And you wonder what happens to them. They will tell you internal
investigations.
Well, moving on, 7 to go to court over rebranded buses. The controversy surrounding the rebranding of 116 bus rapid transit buses at the cost of 3.6 million cedis has been escalated to the Human Rights Court. Is that the right place to go? Yeah.
Well,
maybe you need to add something, laddie.
I mean, I know we are Christians and Muslims, and in our faith, there's a lot of forgiving being preached, but wait there, there's no forgiving. Yeah, 3 million. I mean, we are not going to forgive this 3 million. So indeed, these guys have gone to court. They want the...
What, 3 million, say?
Oh, yeah,
it's been rebranded. It's been done. Somebody presented a budget. You approved.
They will have to peel off the stickers and take it home.
If I come to, or if I go to, let's say, Abla, and tell Abla for hosting the morning show, I want to take 1 million cedis every morning. And she agrees. And you go, and then without knowing what I negotiate, you say you take 100 cedis. What's my beef?
That's why we are
What is my beef?
That's why we are
anyway.
That's why we are
Well, she's not paying me. Well, just in case. Don't give me calls that you hear I got money. She's not paying me. Well, this is national service. Daily Guide says ministers sued over 3.6 million bus branding. The controversial 3.6 million cedis bus branding contract awarded to the National Democratic Congress activist Selassie Ibrahim was landed in court. You know what I'm laughing? Did they have to bring the party into the top? I mean, she's an individual, and she didn't do it. It's her company. So what is really the big deal? What is NDC doing in there?
Well, us, everything, we have to find the political color for it.
Be it
everything. Criminal, be it fraud, whatever it is, you find a political.
And sweet, that is why some of these things don't go anywhere.
No, it won't go anywhere.
Because once you give it the political, colorization, that's it.
So
that's it. Then you pitch NDC, MPP against each other. It doesn't become a legal issue anymore. Anyway, were you going to say something, honey?
Oh, no, you just took the words out of my mouth. Anybody who's now an NDC activist, now we are under attack. The nation is now put on the back burner, and then we just try and protect our parties, as much as we can. But as for this, NDC or MPP, we want our 3 million. Yesterday was the deadline, so we're hoping to see what happened. But the deadline was actually yesterday.
You remind me of my people. EC amends no verification, no vote. The Inter-Party Advisory Committee has agreed to allow voting without biometric verification during the 2016 parliamentary and presidential elections. Whoa, really? Really?
Yeah, so they're going to bypass this thing. Now, that's a big story today.
Why?
That IPAC sat down and decided that, well, if you come and the biometric doesn't recognize you, they can use common sense. Where previously they were saying that, no, it's never going to happen. So that's a big issue, because what then happens? Oh, well, the biometric didn't work, so he came, multiple voting. How then do you check? God, the whole idea of this biometric was to stop multiple voting. Now they're saying that, look, the biometric is not 100%, and therefore you need a human intervention.
That led to some misunderstanding at various polling stations during the last election, the 2012. Yeah. Because there was arguments, some people were being allowed to vote, the biometric machine had broken down, and so on and so on. Oh, okay, let's see how this story unfolds.
And then further on down, the story goes on further to explain that now overvoting is that if the people who turn up to vote are less than the ballot box that they found in the box, is overvoting. So I wonder...
So we are redefining...
Yeah, because the Supreme Court has their own version, and IPAC has now got their own version. 2016 is just going to be beautiful. But anyway, message for you. Abna says she's gotten your message.
You see why I love you, Abna? You're just too sweet. Blows over €1 billion Eurobond loan. History was made yesterday when the minority in Parliament won a vote to stop government from taking another €1 billion Eurobond, and this $1 billion Eurobond. And you were telling me about it this morning.
It was amazing. Basically, finance minister brings a proposal that, look, I need to go out there and get 1 billion. So they had to vote as to whether he goes or not. And so they call for a vote. And then Deputy Speaker Martin Odro decides, no, I'm not going to show the results. So Chair Minister Bonsu, Minority Leader, says, no, you have to show the results. He says, no, there's an hour for us to close, so you can forget it. I'll say it some other time. Then the majority leader, Alban Gbagban, gets up and reads from the parliamentary proceedings that no, you are mandated to, give out the results now, which I thought was quite refreshing, because from his side you think that he would defend. So anyway, he calls out the vote, and the minority gets 67 and the majority gets 66. So basically, government, one vote out. Then he says, well, we don't reach a consensus because we need half the, at least half the MPs in the House to form a quorum. Chairman Sakbonso comes inside and says, no. For what we are voting for, you don't need to form a quorum. So there was back and forth, and they said, look, let's suspend sitting. We'll come back and deal with this issue. So that was what happened. But you see, the posture of the speaker and the majority was like, you have your say, we will have our way. I just thought, look, why don't we sit down and deliberate more?
I mean, to give them the benefit of doubt, to give them some credit. I mean, you say that Alban Gbagban stood up and said, you must read, you must, because he could have just agreed with, I mean, who does? I mean, really? It's 1 hour to closing time, so we will not read the results.
I'm not going to declare the results.
Parliament, and I think on Thursday, that's my opinion, you're doing this is one of the few occasions where I get privileged to be told what is going to be discussed or going to be, said on, that's my opinion on Thursday.
Because it falls under this. That,
yes, exactly.
Well, I'm basically saying that, once upon a time we had traditional rule, which we all understood the procedures, but we've set it aside and we're using this, Western rule. And we just don't know how it works. It's an hour to time, so I won't call the vote, who's right, who's wrong, but it will be an interesting piece.
Well, and then we move to the finder, row over power budget fuel costs. Experts say it's on the high side. Energy experts and layers in the petroleum sector are questioning the amount put out as the cost of fueling the car power badge, describing it as being on the high side.
That issue has come up. The first story was that there was a company that could have supplied the fuel for $2 million a month, but they went for a company that's going to supply for like $6 million a month. And yes, the experts in the sector are saying that, listen, you could fuel, for the capacity you're generating, you could fuel it much cheaper, but we'll leave it for the experts to go back. While the experts are, deliberating, I got my Ameri pen.
Can I see?
Yeah, I got my Ameri pen. So anytime the Ameri goes off, I can just switch off. I'm talking about this.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I thought I was immediately going to say that my husband is getting corrupted.
You see now, anytime the Ameri goes off, I just switch on my pen. What's the next story?
But as a Ghanaian, I mean, maybe you need to let us know. Are you worried about the trend where it's always he said, she said? No, this one is he said, he said. The government says, communicator says, their position says, experts say, and you don't really know the truth about it. We never seems to have a common ground where truth can converge and say that this is the fact.
It's very sad.
Every time it's getting
very sad.
I get that's why Ghanaians are the way. We get fed up with us. Not that we are so peace-loving and so and laid back. But sometimes I think we get fed up with this.
It's a shame. It doesn't matter how blatant there is. There's a side to it. There's nothing that affects the nation. It either affects my party or affects your party. Regardless, it could be even a church service, and we'll still find a division in there.
Yesterday, One Love made a profound statement, and it just hit me when I was watching it again after the PM Express last night. He said electricity bill used to be 50 cedis a month. Now he's paying 50 cedis a night.
And it's so true.
For using generator.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. In the same country, the same house, the same gadgets, you're spending a night what you spend a month. So considering those who are using it for production, if what you use a month to produce, now you have to use it in a day to produce. And yet, we have to buy Ghana and compete. And
you know what shocked me? When Joy FM, I think Multimedia announced that because of the production cost, they're going to close at, I think, 12 midnight. People immediately said, oh, they want to play politics. Like, really? Run a business and you see. With my small business, 100 cedis a day. how much sponsorship am I getting to pay my staff and to pay crew and all that? And for a station like media, and they're playing politics. I mean,
politics, man. They're playing.
Well, it looks like when people get into politics, they become different kind of human beings. I don't know. Well, tariff hikes, government labor in crisis meeting on Tuesday. Information reaching the finder indicates that government is considering accepting demands by organized labor for the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, to reduce the new utility tariffs. Now that's good news, if they are considering.
I can't remember to even give credit to who it was, but I was listening to one platform, right? And somebody made a very, I thought it was a profound suggestion which I hadn't thought about. And he was saying that, listen, PURC is absolute rubbish because as a citizen, we only buy our power from government. We don't have individual, like, standpoint electricity and, AM electricity where I can choose who to buy from so that the PURC can come between myself and the standpoint and the AM show and negotiate for me. So the PURC should be between government and Asogile, government and America. They don't have any dealings with us. So that if Asogile is supplying to government, PURC says, look, we can only buy at 4 pence per hour or 6 pence per hour. So what they are doing with us, and it's true, it's rubbish.
We are creating employment.
It's absolute rubbish. And I think we need to really look into it because we only buy from ECG. Case closed.
Case closed. Well, cop, soldier, and others busted for robbery. We've read the story. So if we can move on to the Business and Financial Times. SMEs urged to bear up or collapse.
That's what you just said. So please bear up or collapse.
In fact, they should have been bear up or shut up. Small and medium scale business managers will have to go beyond their comfort zones in order to survive the challenging times that the coming year will bring to their businesses. Oh, who is this prophet of doom? Enoch B. Donko, acting CEO of Global Access Savings and Loans, has advised. So, I mean, is he tried? I thought they said next year is a better year. It's an election, it has to be better. What is he saying? I refuse to believe this one. I refuse to take what the president says. Name. Amen, brother. Now, Bushmeat market valued at $140 million. Not cities, so dollars.
And Abner has woken us up this morning to come and stand here when we could have been, in Edumasa hunting for some bushmeat to go and sell. Abner, that's it. Tomorrow we are not coming. Look, that's an opportunity right there.
Seriously, the sight of, and you were, and I mean, before I read this, you were worried about, I think, along the way when we were coming from Akwa.
Yeah, they set the whole bush alight. So they look at the direction of the wind, set it alight, and then go and stand here so that when the bush rats are coming, they can catch them. I mean, it's so heartbreaking. It could burn acres just to catch 6 rats. I mean, illiteracy and with this weather ignorance.
Too, the little fire just spreads like...
Yeah.
And people's farms are being destroyed. All because some young person wants some bush rat to go and sell.
So it's a shame.
But the story said the sight of bushmeat intrigues many international visitors to the market. The meat is seen as a flattened and blackened lump of unknown carcass. What a way. Listen, somebody advised them. That's our delicacy. What a way to describe Accra.
Flattened and blackened lump of unknown carcass.
To the indigenes, however, bushmeat, whether cooked, smoked, or dried, is more than nutritious victuals for the old. It is an income-generating commodity for thousands of families across the country. But come to think about it, especially when you go to Nigeria and you see their bushmeat, it's quite scary.
Is it?
Charlie, all sorts of.
When I'm cooking, I say, well, I have some dark and blackened lump of unknown carcass in your soup.
That's it. I'm not eating.
Are there any online stories? Let's go to online.
Okay. 7 sue, that's City FM online, 7 sue government over 3.6 million bus rebranding is there. We have chaos in Parliament as minority wins vote. 2016 polls, EC limit polling stations, allows manual voting, I guess.
I think they proposed 30,000 polling stations, but they're going to do 29. But I think it's moving from 26. Another issue about that is also that the cost it's just way too much. And but some are saying that because of the currency depreciation, it could be the reason why the cost is so inflated. But still, people are thinking, yes, the currency inflation might be there, because I think previously when we bought the biometric and everything, came to about 250, 260 million, and now we are hovering about $1 billion. And we are not buying that much machines. But
so early morning, 2 days to Christmas, when they mention those monies, I honestly, I feel like, losing it, But 2016 election will be tough for NDC, according to VIP. Now, I know many NDC activists who will say that's not true.
They are not happy with that statement.
Cool chop. It's not true. They will not agree.
What's up for
BBC?
No, My Joy Online.
Let's
go to My Joy Online. Yeah.
I was going to ask, how come we never do My Joy Online?
Let's come home. These are today's. Let's go there. Okay. Yeah, this Abraham Atta wins Black Film Critics Circle's Rising Star Award. Now, when the story started, they said he was a street kid, was a street vendor, but whatever it is, he's done well for himself.
Yeah. But it he's not.
No, he's not.
He wasn't a street
And it's a good news that has to be celebrated. He has to. I hope he goes places. He takes it serious, and now that he's got the talent, he has to add the craft, so he goes far.
You see why they check you. Okay, Joy Sports do you want to do sports today?
Joy Sports review. Well, they're just going to review the 2015 athletics.
Okay.
I love athletics, though.
Okay.
I have to watch.
Okay. Can we go to the next story? Transport Minister AG sued over 3.6. All right, we've done that one. And PNC's Abu Ramadan, one other sue EC over 2012 voters register. I think he had been to court already, concerning the use of the NHIA cards. Now so he wants
the whole thing. He says unless they can remove those who, came on board with the NHIA card, then scrap the whole lot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see how that unfolds as well. And an opinion. When the incompetent calls the competent incompetent.
You definitely want to read that.
Well, that'll be very interesting. Yes, next story. Now, who is that? Photos, AM show gets royal with host Nana Ansakwao and wife Awo Dansua. Okay.
It couldn't get more current than that, can it? Can you imagine reading the news on the news?
Who are those two people anyway? Well, let's move on to the next story. GII proposes scrutiny of procurement processes in 3.6 million bars branding deal. Everybody is kind of jumping on board,
3.6 idiot. But if I be anymore. But Vitus Azim raised an interesting point that, listen, the president is campaigning with others for presidency, and he has his campaign message and his picture, on 116 buses trooping, back and forth. So he's having an advantage on the others. Everybody's looking at it from any other way.
Exactly, he's the president.
And it's amazing. Anytime any institution says, "Oh, we ran out of chairs," and then they put 3 million on a bus. This guy says we need a doctor. And they put that 3 million. When we
like this morning, if I say I want to watch it, and then Abla says, "Oh, I don't have money on me," and they put 3.6.
When they get that money, all our problems will be solved.
But interestingly, typical Ghanaians as we are making a joke out of this.
No, but I'm so frightened. And One Love raised it yesterday, but so far I haven't seen a joke about the 3.6 million yet. And I am so scared that I'll open my WhatsApp one day and there'll be something humorous about it. I mean, I would really, genuinely be sad.
Well,
but I haven't seen a joke so far.
Be prepared because it will come, trust me.
Oh dear.
Politics, and we have EC Tuba. Okay, we jumped that one. Can we go? Okay, EC Tuba parties without offices across the country from contesting 2016 polls. I sincerely do agree. Seriously, I agree. Because there are some political parties that come up only during elections, and they also are part of it. I totally agree. Anyway,
there's one party which I've forgotten the name, and it just. Let's see what's on BBC.
Okay. BBC Africa. Nigeria budget outlines higher spending. Nigeria's president announces plans to raise spending by 20% next year by borrowing heavily amid falling of oil prices.
Yeah,
seriously?
Yeah, the story says that, 90% of their GDP is based on their oil exports, and oil is just dropping like a ton of bricks. So they can't meet up their revenues. So he says he's going to try and increase the revenue collection locally and then try and borrow heavy from outside for infrastructure. So that's what he was saying. There's another story, but I couldn't find it, and that's Kagame critical of African leadership. But you just go through the story, and it wasn't there. But I really wanted to find out what he was critical about. But on that infrastructure issue in Nigeria, coming home, the Ghanaian Engineers Association, whatever they are coming up with a score point to grade our infrastructure. Roads, hospitals, schools, clinics, and everything, and they're going to grade from A to F, so that they come and say, look, the N1 is a grade F, or Kolebu is a grade A, the infrastructure and everything. I was speaking to one engineer, and he, really broadened my mind. And what he was doing was said that the Kumasi Highway, the whole idea of a highway is to move from like the two cities as fast as possible. So you find money, you build it, and then you put speed ramps on it. He says you defeated the whole object.
Where were they when it was being done?
Well, they are engineers. They don't have, that's a political decision. Sometimes the DCE comes and just...
Can they advise?
Who's going to take the advice? Who's going to take the advice? But
well, I have one simple advice for them. They better, group and position themselves, or, reorganize themselves and form a political party, because they'll be tagged as political once they start
grading,
doing this.
Isn't it? Once they start grading. But it's amazing how many things we see and just assume that because it's there, then that's it. On personality profile, one of the guys who designed Accra says there was no way he would have allowed Snit Hospital to be there without a car park for such a big place and not have a car park. And then with a layman mind, he just draws, hey, I'm Paul, all these things are there. Because people will be coming, where are they supposed to park?
Charlie, my husband, you get brains. I'm falling in love with you all over again.
I'm stealing from other people's brains, so I need to give them credit. After these brains, I stole it.
Well, that's it, I guess so, right? That's it. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have some more music. We have interviews lined up for you. That's a birthday request, and it's from Ransford Tete to his daughter. Wishing Margaret Tete of Ghana Technology Varsity happy birthday today from Dad Ransford Tete and Mom Vivian. So there you go. Now I'm sure we'll be. Don't dare do football today. No, I mean sorry, honey. I love you too, man. Don't do football today. Okay.
I won't do football today.
Okay.
I think I exhausted all my football knowledge yesterday. But up next will be sports, though. I can at least say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Up next is sports. So don't move. Come here. The senior.